Should be going in 3, 2. All right, I think we're live. What's up, everybody? Big week this past week at Martinsville, and probably a lot more to come from it. So let's just get right into it. I am the Iceberg, and this is the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
Green flag. I'll roll. He's flipping me off. Ah! Hell yeah, boys! How about that? They touched. Watch it in the wall. He threw it off the track. Baby, that's how you do it. Get that second flag, son. Yeah, baby, yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, I think that the stream started off a little later than I thought it was, because the first thing that popped up on the one that I'm looking at is just, this is the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Oops. So what's up, everybody? Big show coming up today. Man, there's a ton to talk about. But first, let's introduce, and I know you guys aren't muted now, so that's good. Our guest today, Gabriel Wood. Gabriel, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good. It's currently raining a lot in Charlotte, so I'm kind of wet. I have to run across the street after this to go back to work, so I'm not exactly looking forward to that, but I'm going to have a little fun tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'd rather have rain than snow.
Yeah. Now it's starting to get cold over here in Vegas as well. So, Gabe, talk about your NASCAR journey up to this point, and who you currently work with.
So I started off at UNOH, that college that you see plastered really everywhere over Bristol and stuff like that. And I joined what's called the race club, and it's basically just an after-school activity. It's just like your glee club or your chess club at your high school, but they give you the phone numbers of team owners in the ARCA series who need your help. And I was fortunate enough to get the phone number of
So you coming in on your end, Darian?
No, he's not. I was like, oh, there he is again. Sorry.
All right, sorry. Yeah, you froze on us. There's a bit of a delay back and forth. I think it's like a 5-second delay, so if you cuss, we can beep it out, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. Is he still frozen?
Yeah, it's looking like it.
Yeah, he's still frozen. Okay. So in the meantime, while he gets his whole thing sorted out, should we just get into Martinsville?
Well, really quick, I want to point out the he's gone.
He's
I
gone.
want to point out to the chat, 69 watching. Nice.
Nice.
Lick that like button, guys. Come on, let's get that like number up. And while we're at it, let's share this with your friends, your family, your dog, everybody. Let everyone watch this show right now. Let's get over 200 tonight. I'd say we put that as the goal. How about you, man?
Yeah, let everybody and their mama know that the NASCAR Weekly Podcast is on, and Gabe is back. He's currently on the move.
hang on a second. I'm having to move locations.
He's having to move
Hey.
locations.
The delay is gone. The delay is gone.
The delay is gone. We were delayed for like 5 seconds.
We had the beeper ready just in case.
Yeah. All right. So while he's on the move.
All right.
All right. There
set.
we go. All right. So he's all set. We'll wait for him and stuff. But again, guys, 73 watching.
Right,
click the like button. All right. So let's get back into my first question. So talk about your entire NASCAR journey up to this point without the delay. Let's.
All right. So I started off at UNOH, and then I joined what's called the race club. And it's an after-school activity. It's just like your chess club or your glee club. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I had to run across the shop.
You're good. You're good.
Plus I'm a little fat. So, and I was fortunate enough to get hooked up with Andy Hillenberg, who was the 1995 ARCA Series champion. And I've been working in association with him for 3 years now. It's been fun. I've worked for a couple Xfinity teams, truck teams, off and on. Usually just over-the-wall stuff.
So I gotta ask, after this past week, man, I guess where do you stand when it comes then, as someone who's worked over the wall on a pit crew, when it comes to the whole like pit crews fighting and everything and standing up for their driver? I guess where do you line up on that? Because I'm really interested. Fair game.
Fair
game.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
I was having a discussion with somebody, and when you're at the race, all you see is the driver. What you don't see is that crew guy that spent a 20-hour shift at the shop on Friday trying to get the car ready to see it get destroyed in a stupid incident. And granted, I didn't really watch the race. I'm not really a big Cup Series fan anymore. I do love the lower divisions. But especially with the way things went down, like if the tire specialist was to just by himself go after Denny Hamlin, then that would no. But the way it transpired, if you look on the video, he tried to get them apart. He told Denny to stop, and that's when, from what I see, Denny kind of laid a hand on him, and then that's kind of when it took off. That's a gray area, but to me, it's fair game. I mean, like I said, those guys are invested in it just as much as the driver, maybe even more, because they've had to stay away from their families to try and get the car ready.
Mm-hmm. I feel you on that. What is your reaction to the penalty received to the crew member? He was suspended for one race, I believe, for this weekend at Texas. So, what is your reaction to that?
Mixed. I see why they did it. They had to do something. It was something that was borderline to a lot of people who aren't in the sport over the line, because it should be driver versus driver to them. And like I said, there's a big difference. If I was like I was 4 years ago as just a fan, I'd be like, yeah, what the hell was that guy doing stepping in? But now that I'm kind of involved in it, I kind of do get the penalty. But at the same time, if it was me, I'd still be really pissed off at NASCAR. But I get it.
Right.
So I want to really quick thank the guys in the chat that gave super chats, and I take it that so one of them here, thank you to Waving Thornquist and to Wookie Automoto TV, and I take it you guys are friends, because I'm on a bit of an abstinence when it comes to inappropriate talking on streams, because I got in trouble for that. So I can't say what he said, but I take it it's an inside joke.
Hang on. He just sent me a picture. Hang on.
Yeah, he'll see.
Based on the super chat, I don't want to. I might not want to know.
He sent me a screenshot. I just saw it. That's my handle on Instagram.
Thanks, buddy.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's try and get the interview back on track.
Let's get back
I want to ask. So many people think that the people going over the wall, they just basically change tires, gas, whatever. Can you kind of explain what's extra stuff and what stuff outside of just what you see on TV that pit crews do? Because I know there's a ton more.
Well, it depends on what team you're on. A team like Starcom, MBM, who Wookie is associated with them, and he's an awe. I actually just met up with him a couple days ago before I left to go home, and then came back here. But he is a hardworking guy. He's in the shop. He works on the cars at the racetrack, and he also fuels most of the time. You get to the bigger teams, a lot of the guys, they just show up to pit the car, but that doesn't mean they work any less, because the Hendricks, the Penske's, those guys have like 24-hour gyms where those guys, all they do is work out and tune their bodies. And you've seen the documentaries and stuff. They do the sports science stuff. And those guys, my heart's out to them. Clearly, I have nothing on them.
You're thick. You're not fat. You're thick.
Yeah, with a CK, Darian.
I want to ask, so with the penalties being announced after last week's altercation, is this sending a message to crew guys not to get involved in driver altercations?
It might be. It might be the kind of second level of boys have at it. And, kind of pulling it back, saying, okay, just the boys with the helmets on. Yeah, that might be the kind of message NASCAR's trying to send.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, that's what it comes off as to me and stuff. Like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter. I ran a poll asking if pit crews should be involved in driver altercations, and I was surprised by this. 80% said no, and I was just shocked by it because, like, just from what you've told us and from what I hear from other crew members is that I mean, working all hours in the shop, like, I mean, it's not just the drivers, like like it's a team effort too. So like if your driver's like in a fight, I can understand someone like, hey, like trying to come to their defense. I don't know, like, does this like not only send a message from NASCAR, but a message from fans that I don't know, maybe like I don't know, like, because I saw somebody's tweet. I can't remember exactly what his name is, but I know he's a crew member in the Xfinity series, saying like, hey, like this basically says that NASCAR saying we don't matter, and the fans are basically saying we don't matter. On the team, since we're trying to go to the defense of our guys. Do you feel the same way, or just different?
No comment.
Oh, okay. No comment.
So I want to ask,
Yeah.
from more, how do I word this? In a way that I won't get demonetized, are there any like really cool stories or really like funny stories that you got from working on different teams?
So the last time ARCA ran Kentucky, 2017, we had Dick Doheny in the car, who is Fast Track's do-it-all guy. He is one of the 3 guys at the shop. He drives the hauler sometimes, and he's also the starting park driver / fill-in driver. He actually finished 9th in points this year. Finished Springfield, and ran a decent amount of laps, but it just he was in the car more than the part-time guys. So we're kind of happy about that. We kicked the Venerini car off the stage at the banquet for the starting part car.
That's dope. That's dope.
Shout out to Chandler Smith. Sorry, buddy. But Kentucky 2017, Dick has done 3 of what we call starting parts from hell, where you start off the race and it's like, oh, we might run 20 laps, and then they start wrecking. And it's like, all right, we'll stay out a little longer. We'll stay out a little longer. And then before you know it, you're finishing the race. The first time he did that was at Winchester in a super speedway car, which Winchester is a half-mile bowl. So he ran 137 laps before the tires finally gave up.
Oh my
God.
God.
And he ended up wrecking the car. Yeah.
Holy crap.
But Kentucky, so the plan was for Dick to run like 30 laps. It was a 100-lap race at Kentucky. I'm fueling for another car. And the pit box for Dick, because you technically have to have a pit box for a car, even if it's only running a couple laps, is right next to us. And my buddy Steven, who also works at the team, he is crew chief. He has to be in the box. And we get like halfway through the race, and Dick's still out there. And he comes up, he taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, Dick is coming in, he needs you to fuel him. Oh, okay. I had assumed, we top the cars off before they go to the garage, so we can get as much fuel in them, so we're not carrying, a gas can with fuel in the trailer. So that's what I assumed happened. So he drives into the garage, and I kind of wedge the catch can, because we still had the catch can in this car, wedge the catch can with a tire cart, because I'm the only one there, pack it full of fuel, and I'm just kind of leisurely, taking my time, put the can down, tap on the window, go, all right, Dick, you're good. Whoa! Man, that's an aggressive way to go back to the garage. Why is he going back on pit road? Why is he back on the racetrack? I didn't have a radio. So I walk back, and Steven goes, oh, yeah, by the way, Dick's running the whole race. Cool.
That's what's up.
So, and keep in mind, Dick is running in Ed Pompa's seat, and Ed Pompa weighs about 100 pounds less than Dick. He is a skinny little guy. And Dick said before the race, Yeah, the seat's uncomfortable, but I only got to do it for 20 laps.
Oh God.
Oh damn, no.
87 laps later.
Yeah.
He gets out of the car and we hand him water bottles. Like, congratulations, Dick. It's the first race he's finished. And he gets out of the car and he's bent over, almost licking his kneecaps. So that was the first starting park from hell.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of those. They're fun.
I've never heard that term
I've
before.
never-
Start and park from hell. I
Park
love
from
it.
Hell.
It's
I never
kind
heard
of
that
a fast track.
Oh, I
term
got, yeah.
from
I
what
like
know.
that. Oh, I like that.
I'm totally using that one at some
Yeah,
point.
for real. We're gonna use that from now on, man. I guess my final question for you is.
Yeah, if you ever see Jeff Green run 80 laps, that's what that is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotta show some respect to Jeff Green, y'all. 2000 champion right there. So
Original
all that.
Intimidator.
Yeah, original. Yeah, there you go. All right. I just my final question for you, Gabe, is what are your plans for 2020?
Don't know.
Just kind of just going by ear, just like, hey, if somebody calls me up, then.
I've had an interview at an IndyCar team and hoping that goes somewhere.
Ooh.
But
Can you tell us the team?
That probably not.
Not right now. Like hopefully it's not McLaren. Because McLaren's
well,
all.
I don't want to say anything because of the circumstances of why I'm getting made, like why they're interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the whole deal. So.
Okay, all right.
But all it was a preliminary interview. I haven't gotten a phone call back or anything. So.
Okay. We wish you the best in that, man. Hopefully you get it.
And I want to ask, from your perspective, for people who want to go into working with teams, whether it's on the crew, in the garage, wherever, what would you say is the best way to start out for them? Because, a lot of them probably just think they can go right in and do whatever the hell they want when it probably obviously is not the case. So I guess from your perspective, what's the best way to go into this field?
Don't be afraid to work for free. You're gonna and don't be afraid to not win because it's not gonna happen like that. Don't be afraid to do everything. I've been a tire carrier, I've been a fuel man, I've been a tire specialist. I've almost been a jack man. I've been a tire changer, which again, not good. Never doing that again. I'm currently doing a couple of spotting gigs for late model stuff. But if you want to break into it, find someone like Brad Smith or Wayne Peterson. They need the help. They're always appreciative of the help. Brad's got an active Twitter. Wayne Peterson has got an active Twitter. And they're all good guys, and they all need the help. The Bashams, Mike and Daryl Basham, if they come back, which we're currently trying to get them, we're trying to build them a composite body car to sell them so they can keep running because all they have is their steel body car. But help those guys out. And, if you do it for a year and a half, they'll start kicking you some money and, hotel rooms and stuff like that. And then go just walk around the Xfinity garage, find someone, or the truck garage, like find someone like Mike Harmon or Jennifer Jo Cobb. I mean, you'll have to get your NASCAR. You have to get your NASCAR license, which is about $800 a pop for an Xfinity license. But yeah. Now I haven't pitted Xfinity in a year.
Oh, okay. All right, man. Well, you heard it from the man himself, Gabe. Well, I don't have any more questions for you, man. We appreciate you coming on. I guess my final question is, where can people find you on social media?
Hang on. I forget my.
He's got to check the handles. He's got to check the handles.
Well, I got my my diecast stuff. I'm opening up a little diecast deal, just trying to make some money at Over the Wall Diecast. Fluffy Guy Wood on Twitter.
There you go.
Woodpecker, a Wood, W00D_Pecker on Instagram. My Tinder is
Go on.
Go on, man.
All right, well, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a blast, and the best of luck to you. Go follow him where he told you to. It's all on the stream. We got the lag out of the way, so thank you so much, man. It was a blast.
Yes. Thanks for coming
Thank you
on.
guys.
Have a good
Fun.
one.
Now I gotta go back. Now I gotta go back to work.
Yeah, go back to work. Yeah, go back to work, man. Try and stay as dry as you can. I know you have to go back in the rain, so.
All right. See you
All
guys.
right. Thanks, bud. Later.
Later, man. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun there. Yeah, Gabriel Wood, y'all. One of the underdog, working for one of the underdog teams, basically, and just basically freelancing wherever he can. So it's always good to have those guys on. We've had a lot of underdogs on this year. Tommy Joe Martins. Now this dude, now Gabriel on here too. I mean,
No, I want to
really
look.
giving us an insight to the other side of the sport that not many people see.
Now, I want to look really quick. By the way, over 100 watching. Let's get up to 200 tonight. Come on, pass it on to everybody.
Smack
Pass
the
it on
like
to your
button.
best friend, your biggest enemy, whoever it may be. Have a fight. Have you and your biggest enemy have a fight in the chat below, and we will not comment whatsoever on it. Evan wants us to get Haley Deegan on. Trust me, we would if we could.
What if you could? Trust
And
me.
I realized that I think we missed a super chat or two, so stop bleeping. 1000 says Gabe taught me how to spill fuel on the ground. I assume it's an inside joke. Beast of Metal 1989. What is that? Wow, I love your profile picture. Says you can send all the penalty-laden messages you want. It isn't going to stop emotional short circuits in high-intensity moments. I think that's true. That's true.
That is true. That is true.
Well, yeah. I mean, no matter what NASCAR wants to do, whether it's to crew members or to drivers getting out of cars, when they don't want them to, yeah, it's it might stop some people. You'll tell who really means it. Basically, it'll just be a nice little filter, and yeah, I guess we can just sort of go right into it on the Martinsville deal if you want.
So Martinsville happened, y'all. So
Oh, by the way, wait 1 second.
Oh,
By the way,
go ahead.
Danny B will be on a little bit later in the show, so it's not going to be. We're not going full BS stream. We will get a majority of the panel on.
we'll talk about his wedding. That'll be
Oh
awesome.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's pictures on it. Go on Twitter and find the pictures of the wedding until
I
it
got
gets
to
on
feed
here.
goats. I got to feed goats. I got to feed a donkey too. Like it was. Oh my gosh, what a weekend! And I got to.
Would
be
you
his groomsman.
would you like to tell them what you asked that goats eat?
Oh, ass. I asked him.
I was like, goats will. He's like, we'll eat my shirt. We go, dude. Goats will eat anything. He goes, anything. I go,
ass?
anything. Yeah, and he has that. So
And
yeah,
then there was a donkey right there too. I was like, oh shit, oh perfect.
it was
But-
completely perfect.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But-
Martinsville.
Yeah, anyways, Martinsville happened. So I didn't watch the first half because I was on a plane back from good old Tennessee from Danny B's wedding as one of his groomsmen. So I was only able to look on it through the NASCAR app. I was able to get free Wi-Fi on the flight back. So I was able to look at the running order.
Hold on, my dad sent me something funny. So thank you to Dad and Mom and Dad and everyone at home watching on the big TV. We confused my dog. Our dog was, I guess, watching on TV, went at the entertainment center and stuck his head up looking at it, and then looked back up at me at the TV and is confused. So
No way.
sorry, Gus. Sorry. Good boy, Gus. Good boy.
Good boy, man. But the first half, man, MTJ was just dominating the whole race, and he was my race win pick from last week, and for good reason. I mean, he has a good rep report at these tracks, but he can just never win though. That's the problem. And ever since his win at Richmond earlier in the spring or earlier this year, he's just been on a tear on these short tracks, man. Whether it's if he's not winning, he's pretty damn close to winning, and he was just dominant throughout this whole race. I think it's just a combination of like this package really too. Like Brad Keselowski led, I believe, 484 laps in the spring race in his win, and then Truex led, I think, 464. So it's really hard to pass with this package at Martinsville. Like, I don't know. I guess dirty air at a short track is the problem. Like, I mean, that's really bad. But so I guess this package is suitable for. I mean, it's obviously suitable for some tracks, and Martinsville is not one of them. So I don't know, maybe a way to help improve that is by maybe cutting the spoiler a little bit. I saw a few people on Twitter saying that perhaps. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the Gen 7 will fix those problems. But anyways, back to the race at hand. A ton of points implications here. Chase Elliott had the worst weekend, Martinsville weekend of his entire Cup Series career, besides his debut. So he basically blew the engine in practice. And then what did he say, Jared?
Hate it for my guys.
Yep, he said exactly those words. And I'm like, yep, hates it for his guys. Of course he does. And then during the race, he ends up breaking something and ends up running 50-something laps down. He was like 11 laps behind Timmy Hill, like in the Spire Motorsports car at Martinsville. Like, what in the hell is going on here? But that was his problem. So now he's not going to make enough points. He has to win. Ryan
He's good at
Blaney,
Phoenix.
Yeah, he's very good at Phoenix.
Ism.
Ism now, and he's somewhat decent at Texas too. We'll see what Chase Elliott shows up. He doesn't really like Texas though. His comments after last year's fall race was, I don't know who changed the track here, what expert changed the track, but we had a damn good track beforehand. So,
Right.
He was right,
Completely right.
You're right, man, you're right. So
You're right.
After that, Ryan Blaney is peaking at the right time, it looks like. He's still below the cut line. I want to say, how many points? I didn't see it beforehand. I forgot. I think he's around the 10, 15 point range, maybe.
Hold up.
Yeah, so Jarrett will look that up for me, but he's peaking at the right time. And then, once again, Truex wins. He locks his way into the Final Four, to the Championship Four, has a chance to win his second championship in 3 seasons.
15.
15.
Blaney is 15 out.
So Blaney's 15 out, so he still has a chance to contend for this championship. And Kyle Busch, he's been banking on insurance really this whole. Thank goodness he had a very solid regular season, because he has been banking on that and all the points accumulated from that during this playoffs. Like he's there, but in Kyle Busch fashion, Kyle Busch standards is a good race is finishing inside the top 3. Or, if you want to debate it, a good race is winning the race. Anything less is just horrible for him. And, he sets those expectations for himself because he's very high on himself. So he's still to the good to a certain extent, but he got into a run-in with Eric Almirola, which Eric Almirola getting into some sort of confrontation, like nothing against the guy. He's just the last person I would expect to get in a confrontation. He's one of the good guys in the sport. And then, the whole Denny Hamlin-Logano incident, we can talk more in depth about that after we go over Martinsville. But that deal happened, and Hamlin really was, I get it. It's short track racing. But, from my perspective, the dude was using up, damn near everybody during that race. He used up Kyle Busch. He used up Kevin Harvick. Used up Byron at one point. And then towards the end there, Joey Logano. And Logano obviously did not like what he heard from Hamlin there. And, that resulted in all of that mess, which we will get to in a moment. But as far as the race goes, a lot of people... we can take a look at Jarrett's poll after this, but a lot of people, put this race in a very negative light. I think without the fight, maybe we would have a lot more different opinions on this race. I don't know. I'd give it a 6.5, maybe. I don't know. It's it'll just be one of those forgettable Martinsville races that will only be remembered for just the fight. That's about it.
Yeah. Honestly, when I watched the race, because I was on the way home from Danny B's wedding, so I had to listen to the first 150 laps on the radio, which, it sounded entertaining enough, but at the same time, I was watching it. Truex was dominant. That was a complete given. And I do think that the spoiler had an effect on the dirty air. I think it's just Martinsville is such a good track that when you diminish the product in any way, people immediately are like, what the hell did you do? Jeez. Thank you, Streamville, for the $2 super chat. Haley is the best with a heart.
Yes.
You're the best, Iceberg. Thank you so much, sir. You were the best for donating $2, man. That's awesome. It is very appreciated. But in talking about Martinsville, this race, if you looked at it, you could argue it's better than a majority of mile-and-a-half races usually are. You could argue it's better than a lot of the plate races during the Gen 6 era have been. But the fact that Martinsville consistently has probably produced the best racing in, I don't know, the last 10, 15 years. Like, on a consistent basis, every single race there is good. I can understand people being upset. I was a little shocked at how negative it was. At the same time, it was not as bad as the spring. Like, people keep saying it was worse than the spring. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like, there were people that were able to go through the pack. There were people passing. There was a lot of beating and banging. There was a lot of fenders being taken off. I mean, I saw a lot of people doing their best Halloween costume version of Dale Jr.'s 2006 car, where he lost basically the whole damn front of the car. Yeah. It was not a horrible race. I honestly, I thought it was a little. I won't say it was. I can't say it was great. I won't say it was great. I can't say that it was necessarily like really good by any means, but I mean, when you look comparatively to the rest of the schedule, not Martinsville standards, just the rest of NASCAR standards, I think it was it was definitely above average. I guess you could say good. I gave it a 6 out of 10, which in my book is that borderline between average. And good. So it was passable. I think that's a good enough grade. It was passable. And I think a lot of people, overreacted. I hope that the new people that are watching, which, nice little segue right there.
A lot of new people.
New people watching, I hope they don't take Twitter as for what is a good race, because if they are a bad race, because if they think this is a horrible race,
you didn't watch Fontana.
You didn't watch the spring Martinsville race.
Yeah, you didn't watch the spring one.
But as for TV ratings, they had a 1.4 rating, which I didn't see the comparison to last year. I think it's probably a little higher, maybe flat. I don't know. They didn't post it in the reports. But they had 2.3 million viewers this year, which is up from 2.2 last year. So I believe it's up 5%. They said, which is good. I'm not going to complain about TV ratings going up. I know a lot of people are questioning the 20% from last week, and I'll admit it shocked me too. And I wouldn't even be surprised if in the next couple of weeks we have to report on the fact that, or 6% up, so that's even better. But I wouldn't be surprised if we report on a correction being made that's happened before. Back in 2013, the Talladega race had this giant 25% drop, and everyone's like, what the hell? This year's been up and flat. And then all of a sudden there's this drop, and, Nielsen gave a apology. They were about 500,000 viewers off. I don't know how you misplace 500,000.
I don't know.
I'll have to look into that process. But so maybe that might be changed. But this past week with Martinsville going up this bit, it goes along with the way the rest of the season's been so far. The rest of the season's been up, flat, but generally up. I'd put on Twitter, I'm glad that they are keeping this momentum going. I want the last 3 weeks them to build this momentum so that 2020 they have it all heading in. This last year with the Gen 6, all this other stuff, you can hype up the next gen.
The next gen.
I feel like George Carlin changing my tone of voice every time I say something like this. Anyway, the thing that surprised me and the thing that they need to improve on is the streaming numbers. I think 23,000 streamed it, which people are like, oh, that's not terrible. It's like, no, that kind of is.
Better. It could be better.
Bad. That's bad.
It could be better. I mean, maybe they're not promoting it enough either.
They need to promote it, but I take all that away. There's the full numbers, everything being stripped away, and you just look at strictly the numbers. It is pitiful. In 2019 going into 2020. I think that NASCAR should at least probably have 100,000 people every week streaming. I think that they need to make this a number one priority on the social media front going into 2020 because think about it. I mean, streaming, in my opinion, is the complete way of the future. TV is going to become the dodo bird of pretty soon to the internet.
Go radio.
Yeah, I mean, TV is what radio was when TV was just coming up. It's not going to peak anymore. We're at the downturn. We need to get stuff online, get going. I know NASCAR's trying with this right now. Mm-hmm. They are. Just from what I've heard, and just it's obvious. I mean, you don't even have to ask them.
We've been told, yeah.
You don't even have to ask. They know it's the way of the future. It's just a matter of how do they get it out there.
An intriguing
So, yeah.
deal would be in 2024 once the television contract is up. Getting another TV deal, but also on the side, maybe getting some sort of deal worked out with YouTube TV, perhaps.
I think the only people that we're going to get this with would be NBC, because I think Fox Sports, which we'll get to in a little bit, has proven they give no F's about NASCAR anymore.
No.
They are just skating through the last 5 years of their deal to get out. NBC seems to be the ones who are willing to innovate in the NASCAR front. So I think that those would be the only hope you got of any real change or any build-up. Because I think the new contract is going to have a lot to do with the internet. I mean, you look at what we had 5 years ago, back in 2014, and streaming, nothing. No one talked about streaming back then, really. If you streamed a race, you were probably doing it illegally.
Yeah.
So
Probably, more than likely.
it's the way that we're moving so fast into the future. It's a completely different animal moving forward. But NASCAR needs to, and it seems like they're getting on their way to. They need to be proactive instead of reactive. This new market, it benefits a proactive approach to it. And thank you to Beast Metal 1989, another $5. Thank you, man. I find streaming for racing and any live event really to be annoying because it lags even more behind the race and the TV than the TV broadcasts are. I think part of that is also with the contracts.
That's what they're supposed to do that. I know it sucks sometimes because like I'll go on social media when I'm streaming a race and then it's like, what just happened? And then like I'll look off my phone for a moment and like the thing everybody's tweeting about, happened just now from my perspective. But yeah, I mean, streaming it's supposed to be like that due to the television contracts. And another super chat.
Yeah, thank you, the Black Hole guy for $5.
The Black Hole.
Y'all are really okay. You guys are really generous tonight. I'm going to Texas Motor Speedway for Xfinity and Cup races this weekend. Y'all may think the track sucks, but the races are great to watch in person. I think that I agree. Every race, in my opinion, is good to watch in person.
Yeah, every race is. Even Indianapolis is, and for NASCAR, and that's saying a lot.
Cito just put in the chat. Jarrett, you just said the strategy my mom gives me: be proactive, not reactive. Here's another one. Here's another one to remember: slow feet don't eat. So.
Slow feet. Hey, there you go.
My grandpa likes that one. So.
You want to share the poll, man?
Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, you can put it up and we'll read it. I can read it. It's poll time.
Here we go. It's poll time. All right, here we go. Can you see it?
I can see it.
All right. So
17% of you said that this race was a great race. 38% said good. 32% said average. 8% said below average, and 5% of you thought that this was just a bad race, which I can understand, even though I don't agree. But I'm looking here. 13% net negative. That is the highest we've had since Dover. Not even close to how negative Dover was. Dover literally was double in both below average and bad. 32% said it was average, again, highest since Dover. 38% of you said it was a good race, which is around mid-pack for this year. And then 17% of you thought it was a great race. That's the lowest since, hey, shocker, Dover. We can't compare it to the poll from Martinsville in the spring because there was no poll about Martinsville in the spring. That was pre-poll.
Oh yeah, when was the first race for the poll?
Bristol. It had 924 votes.
And now we have 4,500.
So we've had 4,500 for 3 weeks in a row, so that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Let's get the 5K, man. Let's get the 5K.
Y'all.
Keep it up. I'd love to get to 5 or 6K for the YouTuber meetup at Homestead, which shameless plug.
Shameless plug. We're going to Homestead, y'all. Just a reminder.
So I'm looking through here. Grindcore Rager 67 said the sad part is that blankety blank.
Blankety blank.
Oh, it's not even showing up all the way because.
Hold up. There we go. It should be showing up. There we go.
Okay. I think the whole most of it is. Isn't gonna knock out another blankety blank for being a blankety blank because 40 crew members have come from behind like a bunch of blankety blanks. I'm glad that you have opinions. I'll just say that.
He's mad. He mad.
Evan put in green eggs and ham. The entire book.
I was getting a like.
That's amazing.
I love you, dude. I still gotta put some sort of comment in there.
That's amazing.
Good job.
Elliott went from I hate it from my guys to I hate my guys. In other news, Byron came home P2, which once again proves his worth. Didn't somebody say he was a I don't know, a sleeper pick?
He was a sleeper pick. Didn't you say he was a sleeper pick?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Let's see. The Monster Band Mash. Oh, Jesus. We got Bohemian Rhapsody. Got stuff. I'm trying to find. Now it's hard to find the actual serious comments.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. Jason Jeffrey. Jason Jeffrey. He put more than 75% of the race was a total slog. Ugh. And to top it off, Truex won. What a frustrating race. Edit. I tend to be too harsh on Truex. He's a real top talent. I just stand by my statement of it being below average. I can respect that. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I like Truex, but at the same time, I think I'm like a lot of NASCAR fans where once the same guy starts winning a lot, I'm like, oh, let's get someone new already.
Yeah. Or an underdog win. Someone else.
Good race. Not God racing, but good race. Not good racing, but good race. Kyle Petty. That sounds like something.
Did he say that? Yeah, he probably said that.
Sounds like something Kyle Petty would say.
After the whole wind valve thing, I'm like, kind of meh.
NRF 2005 asking Iceberg, why didn't you add a boring because Truex won option? I did not put a boring option in there because I like to keep stuff even like I normally do.
There you go.
I am looking through this thing because there's one that I love in here. There's another one that's amazing because here it is. Jake put the First Amendment.
Where?
Keep scrolling. There he is.
Oh, that Jake. Hey, my boy.
He put the First Amendment. That gets a heart on my end.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Good man.
We love the First Amendment on the
Yes, we do.
Podcast.
Free Hong Kong. Anyway, hey, NBA won't let us. I'll do it. Where is it? Somebody put. Oh, Streamville put something that wasn't about Haley Deegan.
Holy crap!
I love Martinsville. Great short track racing.
Bro, super chat first. Super chat.
What? Ooh, $10. Can you give me an autograph of Haley Deegan and send it to me? Trust me, I will do my damnedest.
We'll do your bet.
And that is not cussing. Thank you so much. I know who that is. Thank you. Where is it? Someone put the 13th Amendment. That's amazing.
I see that.
Good Lord, this is we have to. There we go. Streamville put something about Haley Deegan.
Oh wait, hold up. NASCAR Weekly Podcast mod. No one, not a single soul. Darren Gilliam. There are going to be 5 NASCAR YouTubers in the Hall of Fame by 2030.
Oh, I'm so glad I knew that was bait. Where is it? Where is that comment? There's literally an entire Wikipedia page. It's a comment, and I'll know it when I see it, but I can't remember what the subject matter was.
Was it on the bottom?
IDK player, but RCR sucks. Sorry, Sloppy.
Sorry, Sloppy. Oh yeah, Austin Dillon did get into some trouble this weekend.
Oh, there's a little bit of news about him. Where is it? M&M Cup Series. Homestead Baby, and then he put How to Cook Rice.
Report this ad. Oh my gosh. It's a whole thing.
I really like the way people are putting, because I've been doing the playoffs, or not the non-playoffs, the Winston Cup format, and it's been pretty cool. And people are putting in like 2011 Chase format and like the non-stage point format from beforehand.
There we go.
I really like that, guys. Because I'm not going to keep up on 30 different formats. So
yeah. We like that.
Where is it?
Want me to scroll down to the last comment?
Okay, no, hold on. Red and Yellow Larson fan put in the Applebee's menu.
For me.
So did Slow Motion. Ultimate 23 Dragon with an actual serious comment. Another race, another instance of a JGR driver being a whiny idiot, per usual. Listen, I liked after. But I'll admit, Hamlin, man, he was a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, he was all
Where
over the place.
Is it? Oh my God! I popped up on my spam and I was like, oh yes, this has to be in. There's another Haley Deegan comment from Streamville.
Tyler Johnson. That's short track racing. Denny Hamlin 2019.
Oh my God, I can't find it. Where did it go?
This comment is gone
Oh no.
eternity.
Where is it? There was like one that was like a Wikipedia page for something, and it was one of the funniest things.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's.
I'm not sure where they're coming at.
They just keep. Someone should put in. I'll tell you what. Next week, someone put in the lyrics of "Stairway to Heaven."
There you go. Yeah, somebody get on that.
Build your own breakfast. Where is it? This is gonna drive me nuts if I can't find it.
And Patriotic Pioneer has the last comment, and it says last. There
Hey,
you go.
nice job,
Right.
man.
Smart. Good job, man.
He probably
And that
waited.
is.
Well,
And that.
I'm
are you?
I'm
are you
still
looking for the comment?
scrolling on my phone for this damn comment.
He's still looking for the comment, guys. We
It
gotta
was
let
so
him find this comment.
funny. It was
Maybe
so
they
funny.
deleted it. Maybe.
I hope
think
not, because I approved it and everything. I literally
Yeah.
I went through. I go through the comments on these, and I approve the like them when they, because yeah, there's the entire Applebee's menu, which is funny. But
Yeah.
there was one that was an entire Wikipedia page, and I was about in tears laughing at it because it was like actually it. I'm literally going
Yeah.
through every comment that says "read more" because another Applebee's menu, but it wasn't the whole menu. Come on, man, you got to put in the whole menu.
It wasn't the whole menu.
One of them wasn't. Well, the one for you
Oh.
was.
Yeah, the one for me was. Yeah. And they spelled my name wrong too. Whoever said, oh, here he is, said Darien. I always get that. Yeah. So red and yellow, it's Darian next time.
There's so many long comments. I'm just waiting for the person who just spends a week just putting like stuff for the entire. Oh wait, I think this is it.
All right, did you find it?
Yes, Jesse
Wait,
Stewart.
where's it at?
Jesse Stewart. It is the
All right.
Wikipedia page for orange chicken.
No way. Wait, what's his name? Jesse Stewart, you said, right?
Jesse Stewart.
Is it at the bottom?
It's like halfway through if you put newest first.
Okay. Hold on. Let me scroll.
But
up.
it's
We gotta find
literally
this comment.
it's the Wikipedia page for orange chicken. There he is.
Here it is. Here he is. I found it.
So man, attaboy.
Holy crap.
That-
That's the whole
I-
thing.
I was in tears when I saw this. Good man. That is what I want to end the poll comments off on because we got an entire show still to go for the most part.
And that's this
that's
week's
awesome.
Iceberg poll.
That's
That
awesome.
is awesome. Good job.
I
And
guess-
also, by the way, 113 watching. If it's gonna, hopefully it lets me refresh. Come on, YouTube. Only 65 likes. Make sure to lick the
Lick
like
that
button.
like button.
Lick the like button, everybody.
And I guess let's get into some of the stuff that the stories. I guess. So spoiler changes. Everyone's been asking for them because the short track racing has suffered from this giant ass spoiler. And Bob Levine, the gem he is, I love that.
We
That
love
man's
you.
amazing.
We love you, Levine.
But he said that basically spoiler change would be minimal for the most part if that was the only change they had. So I mean, I'm all for it if they can do it just for specific tracks. I mean, it's like Danny put on Twitter, like back in the day, like when we started watching, they had different noses for the plate tracks. Like you're
yeah.
telling me that just a strip of aluminum is too much for you?
Come on, man. Come on. Just make it happen, man. I mean, the short track racing has been off a tad this year, and that's just putting it lightly. I think for Bristol, Bristol is always going to be Bristol, but to see Martinsville affected in this way where somebody
And
just completely
Richmond.
just dominates, and also Richmond too, yeah. Well, the spring race was it was a lot better than the fall races.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
But Richmond's been, I think, hampered by the Gen 6 altogether.
Yeah.
But I would be all for this, man. I would be completely for this. But you know, it remains to be seen, basically.
See what happens.
Looking through here right now. I probably should. Let's plant 20 million trees. I'll look into that more. I want to see like where everything's going first because I like Mr. Beast, but at the same time, it's like just need to be sure. So another, let's see. Oh, the pit crew members with Hamlin and Gunn. I want to wait till Danny gets in here. I don't know when he is. But I want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk a bit about that. But looking through, why didn't I put that? There's some lightning round stuff. But so the truck race. Let's start with Todd Gilliland because that's a funny one.
Yes.
Todd Gilliland.
Play the audio. Yeah,
Hold on.
I saw him screen record it right there. I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? He's like, it might get taken off.
Yeah, I was literally at right before Danny's wedding. I'm like, screen record. All right,
Yeah.
here's what Todd Gilliland had to say after the race that
There you go.
none of you saw.
Get you a clock, buddy. Nice work. Hell yeah, good. Watch him. I knew it was never gonna win. You guys are the best. God bless you can stay in your fucking motorhome.
I can't cuss, but my phone can.
Whoever's saying Todd Gilliland was a bust, he's not a bust just off of that alone. There you go. No, sorry, man. And also, thank you to Auto Rock and Racing 94 for that, for providing us with that.
Oh, there. I didn't put I didn't put it down. Yeah. Oh, and then thank you, Chrome Diesel. Spoiler alert: FS1 ruined the truck finish or the finale, as Cartman would say. Did not respect NASCAR's authority. Anyway, I want to talk about the Todd Gilliland thing first. That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Todd Gilliland, he's had a ton of crap thrown at him this year from his own owner, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is very public about how he feels his guys are doing. He's been saying all season, yeah, we've sucked this year. And, Greg Biffle winning in his only Truck Series start in that equipment doesn't make things a whole lot better for those two drivers. So it was finally good to see Todd do that. And also it's good to see, one of these young drivers have, a moment like that, some sort of, showing that they have some sort of resemblance of a personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be a little edgy. You might get in a little bit of trouble for it afterwards, but God, is it so entertaining. We love it, man. Please never change.
I wish you didn't apologize for it. Like,
yeah,
that just takes away.
Apologize. Yeah,
it
he
just
shouldn't
takes
have apologized
away.
for it. It's like, look, you're probably leaving that team already. Like, there's no.
You wouldn't say it if you weren't.
Yeah.
Like,
come on.
You're like that. That's like somebody they get fired from Hendrick and that they're going somewhere after the season. Then they say that, well, I didn't say it because I was fired. I just said it because.
Can you imagine if Brian Vickers in 2006 told Rick Hendrick to go stay in his motorhome? Because remember, he was already leaving Hendrick by then, and after his Talladega win. Can you imagine if he said something like that? I remember NASCAR.
Hendrick probably would be safer at Talladega after that if he stayed in the motorhome.
Yeah.
No, man, but. I think that him apologizing, it takes a lot away. I think he's trying to repair a bridge that was blown out by a bazooka.
It's been blown for a while.
Yeah, but and thank you again, Beast of Metal.
Damn, we
man, another $5 again, dude. Thank you. The truck race. Anybody else wonder if a bunch of behind-the-scenes guys from TNT were hired by Fox Sports in 2015? Maybe we should probably talk. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it, man.
Fox Sports, man, they have not. Fox Sports has not shown the proper care for NASCAR, in my opinion, since about 2012, 2013.
Yeah, it's been super lazy with it.
I've noticed almost ever since they signed the new contract, the new deal they had, which they signed that in 2012, because they signed it really early. I was surprised how early we found out about it. It seems like they've sort of cheaped out. They don't send as many people to the track anymore. And I don't blame. Let's not blame people at the track. Like, I saw a bunch of people were sending Vince Welch and Michael Waltrip hate mail for it. And it's
what are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
They're the freaking commentators. Get off their backs. What the hell?
The commentators you should be probably a little more upset with were the ones in the college football game that basically just gave the half-ass, oh, sorry, the race fans, you missed the end of the race, or whatever they said.
Even then, you can't be mad. You can't even be mad at
Well, you could tell they didn't care at all.
Yeah, they're there to, cover football and stuff. I understand that.
I don't understand going after the people who are just doing their job at the track. They're the ones actually showing up to the track, unlike what a lot of Fox Sports has basically turned into, where it's just, let's stand in front of a green screen.
Screen, all these digital graphics.
I would love to see somebody put, because since everything's a green screen in that studio, I would love to see somebody edit out the studio they made and put in, like, the Star Wars prequels in the background, because it's about as realistic.
Yeah, it's obviously, they're doing that to cut costs.
They are.
Don't care about NASCAR in general anymore. The way they're moving more is towards obviously the NFL. That's been their bread and butter for years now. College basketball and football too. Like, I remember way back in 2006, 2007, they started to get more into college football, and recently basketball FS1 is basically the home of Big East basketball, which is also tremendous too for them. So NASCAR isn't necessarily a priority, and then also the MLB, and with it being
It's
the
an
World Series and
afterthought.
stuff.
It's
I
not a
mean, it's pretty much
priority.
an
It's an
afterthought. I
afterthought.
mean, it was a major priority for them in the early 2000s, but then somewhere around 2011, 2012, once the ratings started to flatline and dip a little bit, they just tended not to care as much for it. And I mean, you can get mad at them all you want and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like I do understand it though to a certain extent, because they want to move on, they want to move in a new direction, with their platform and stuff, with their channel. I mean, that's fine, but I don't know. I would rather them
Finish
just
out
be
what you
straight
said.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I would rather them just be honest with us and just say hey, look, this thing isn't pulling in as much as we as much as it used to. We're gonna cut some costs for it, rather than kind of basically trying to cover up this whole facade and stuff like that, where it's hey, we care, but then we really don't care.
The people on screen and the people doing a lot, I think the majority of the people working on it do care. I think they do. I think that where the problem lies is the higher up you get. I think a lot of the people that were really the ones that used to be there that actually cared about NASCAR, I think, at Fox. Yeah, I think they're gone. And I like this game put in the chat. Who dumped more money into graphics, Fox or the Weather Channel? Man, yeah, I'll look it up after the show. No, man, what Fox Sports has done the last 5 years, in my opinion, between going from I think I will forever say I think the scrolling ticker is the better, more efficient one than a lot of them they've had. But from basically cheaping out on the graphics packages to not having as many people there anymore to pushing races to FS1, showing blatantly lower quality, the lower quality they give for it. I mean, it's like Weekly Podcast Mod said, Speed Vision died for this.
It did.
And it sucks. Speed died for this. And really, NBC Sports has completely taken over from where because Fox Sports 1, even for a little bit, was still, racing was the primary thing. But literally, I think in hindsight, we as NASCAR fans can say they used us to get somewhere where they didn't give two dams about us, really.
No, yeah, after Speed basically died, FS1 still needed a core audience to build around first. So they used, that channel for, majority of it is, was basically motorsports, because, it was the old Speed channel. So you still had a ton of viewership from that. But then as the years have progressed, you've seen them transition more into, a more of a sports talk show type
terrible,
channel.
Though. It's the NASCAR Race Hub on there. You can tell it's just.
Yeah, Race Hub's terrible, but
terrible
the other programs on there, they're not necessarily terrible. I love Undisputed. I love Colin Cowherd's show too as well. I watch it from time to time. But yeah, from a NASCAR fan's perspective, NBC Sports is pretty much holding the torch at this point. And then also want to point out one last thing: the way the whole mishap was handled too. When I finally saw it, when we got back from the wedding, I was like, are you serious? They didn't even give, a replay of it. This same thing happened in Bristol for the NASCAR Busch Series race that summer in 2007. The feed went out for the final 2 laps of that race, and they showed a replay of what happened. Casey Kane ended up winning the race, and Jason Leffler ended up David Rudeman ended up dumping Jason Leffler on the final on the final lap coming out of turn 4. They basically showed a full replay of the final 3 to 2 laps. Basically said hey, we apologize. Here's what happened. And Fox Sports 1 just didn't give 2 shits about it. Excuse my language. They didn't give 2 shits about it because they were just oh, no, yeah, Todd Gilliland won. Okay, on to college football. And then the college football commentators, hey, sorry, racing fans, but we got college football. First and 10 here.
Sorry, racing fans.
Yeah, sorry, racing fans. Y'all first and 10 here.
I don't get the defense right now. Don't get me wrong. I think overall, Fox Sports has done a great job in NASCAR. It used to be my favorite for a long while.
Early 2000s, yeah.
I'd say, yeah, from where it started to about 12, 17, I think they did a very good job. I think what they've done now is completely destroyed the legacy that they could have had in the sport. Because, I mean, even if you're, the way I see it, even if you're leaving the sport after this contract, which I personally think Fox is, or they're going to be at least much more diminished. They're not going to do, I don't think they'll do 16 cup races. I don't think they'll do the full truck schedule anymore. But you at least give it your all, I guess, I'd think. Like, if you're a lame duck or something, I think we're going to find out more and more over the next 2 or 3 years, and the next deal is being put together. But I'll just say this. I would not be surprised if they patch stuff up with either CBS or ESPN, or if they just do the full schedule on NBC Sports.
I said on Twitter on Sunday, NASCAR on ESPN in 2024. That would be pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
I know ESPN. I know some of you guys are saying, well, they don't care about motorsports.
A lot can change in 5 years.
They somewhat do, though. I mean,
they put them on
the F1 thing. I mean, the F1, like, I know Formula One. It's basically a plug and play with Big Sky Sports, but at least they're showing it. At least give them props.
Well,
and then, like,
NASCAR was on the start of Sports Center a few weeks ago too, and Talladega, and that they still have. You know, granted, they screw up with like names and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're like, oh yeah, they're ESPN loves NASCAR. No, there's got to be a lot of work to be done if they're gonna get that to work out. But it's got to be better than this.
I find it funny though, because this is basically a trend. So ESPN in the early '80s was just starting off. They were looking for sports to cover. NASCAR was really one of the first major leagues they started to cover on their platform / channel, other than college basketball, and they covered it for 20 years, and it basically helped ESPN grow to where it is today. But then after NASCAR left it, there was sort of animosity there too from ESPN, and then once ESPN got it back from 2007 to 2014. There was still some effort there, but I mean, obviously the ratings weren't necessarily there as they used to be, like ESPN thought they would be. So they opted not to put in as much money, and then NBC Sports returns to NASCAR. So I think the same thing might be happening with FS1 as well. But it's sort of the same, but different in some aspects.
Look what NBC Sports has been doing. They had kind of almost like a cult following, but NASCAR definitely has put them up a peg, I think. And I think that they have repaid NASCAR greatly. They've stuck with them through a huge decline in TV ratings if you look from 14 to even today. Like, I know they've gone up this year, but generally this has been a bad deal for NBC. And instead of putting less effort in it and really just and having less mistakes, I personally think over time they have upped their quality. They've upped their quality on the screen, on the broadcast. They've just, everything has been seemingly elevated. They're trying to innovate instead of just do the same old stale stuff.
I mean,
they're doing it right.
The whole radio broadcasting aspect of it too.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be stuff we like, but they're trying. They're trying. They're doing this right, in my opinion. And if it fails,
then they just won't do it anymore.
Well, they've won over NASCAR fans, in my opinion. The majority of NASCAR fans are like, yes, NBC, the second half of the schedule. And back in the day, it used to be like, oh, God, we're going to do TNT and then ESPN.
Yeah, and then ESPN.
Which, don't get me wrong, I think ESPN from 2011 to 2014 is the best broadcasting of this probably millennium, honestly.
That was good, yeah. Yeah, Alan Bestwick, Andy Petrie, Dale Jarrett in the booth from 2011 to 2014. That was perfect.
The problem with ESPN was the higher-ups, not the on-TV. Well, at least in the second half, definitely not the on-TV personalities. I think Rusty Wallace being in the booth was a mistake.
He's a better pre-race guy. Yeah, Rusty Wallace is...
yeah.
I mean, he's on MRN now, but like at the time, he was more of a pre-race guy. And also having Jerry Punch in the booth. I do love Jerry Punch.
That magic
but
wasn't
more as a
there.
pit crew. Yeah, more as
from
a pit
before,
crew.
because he was a really good announcer, but that magic was not. I don't think was there. And I think with Alan Bestwick there, you gotta have him in there. Like the fact that he wasn't in from start to finish, I don't know. But we can probably talk about this all night. I say let's get into the lightning round really quick.
Oh, and look who's joined us. Look who's joined us now. The one and only Daylon Barr.
Can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you, buddy.
Yep, I got you guys perfect.
Cool.
How's it going, man?
Not so bad. Good to be back on.
Yeah, it's
Good
good
to have
be
you
back
on, man.
And I remember you sent me some stuff asking to be on the show because you had a little insight into a certain team that is starting up. We were just about to get into that, so perfect timing from your end. So
Yeah.
you want to talk about that for a moment?
Yeah. So the Money Team Racing, that deal with Floyd Mayweather, it kind of got leaked around Reddit. Their website went live, and then got taken down shortly thereafter. And there's a couple concepts floating around, but they have actually reached out to me to be their photographer for Homestead and for next year. So
What?
I have
Holy crap.
something in writing that it's not just speculation, that it's actually something that is trying to develop here.
Oh my God.
Wow. Well, first off, congratulations to you, man.
Yeah, congratulations,
Well, I
man.
mean, hey, until the check clears and hits my bank account, don't clap for anything,
Hey,
Yeah.
It will though. I'm quite sure it.
I've been
it'll end up happening.
a part of some deals like that. Remember, if you remember Charlotte last year, the 7 car, the Steakhouse Elite,
Yeah.
John Cohen's team. I can't. What was it? New York Racing? Or,
Yeah.
Midwest?
NY Racing. Basically,
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
exact.
yeah.
But yeah, that's good to hear. Man.
I was their photographer, and that ended very quickly. So, but thank you. I appreciate the sentiment.
No problem, man.
So there's like, I know they talked about building a lot more towards 2020. So it seems like with what you said there that like everything seems to be like just this one race, have a lot more eyes, and then just so 2020 is looking like the big plan right now. Like, is it full time, part time?
The Homestead deal is to sort of get the feet wet. As far as I know, it will not be with a car that is owned by them. They will third party it. I don't know what team that would be with a partnership with, but something probably sort of like how Spire is with Premium. And then, as far as I'm aware, they hope to go pretty darn close to full time next year. They want to get a charter.
Charter. Yeah, that'll basically guarantee them a spot in each and every race for 2020. I mean, I guess the biggest question now is basically, who's going to be driving this thing at Homestead? And since they do want to, since they do have ambitions to drive in 2020, who would be a full-time driver? Who do you think would be that way?
I think from what I understand, they want a veteran, someone that's going to be able to give feedback. They don't want to half-ass this. Like, they want this to be a real deal next year. They want to be not, I wouldn't say competing for wins, but top 25, top 20 at some point.
Damn, out the gate? Wow,
out
that's
the
very
gate.
ambitious.
That's what they're looking for. They're gonna come in and spend some money. They want to have an alliance with a Cup team, a Chevrolet Cup team. Excuse me. Pardon me.
We just turned this into a Bahemen song.
I know I just got here, but we haven't said in this while. Carnation, clip that.
Clip it, bro. Our NASCAR Weekly Podcast might clip that. That is great.
Danny B.
Danny
led.
B, we missed you, buddy. What's going on, man?
What's
I missed
up?
you.
And just for the podcast viewers to see, boom.
Married man. Married man right there.
To kind of go off of the iceberg, I got my missing ring.
He got his missing ring. I got the gator belt. Or the not the gator belt, the what do you call it? The belt thingy. I caught it.
I'm gonna leave you here.
The garter belt. There we go. The garter belt. See?
So that means that Darian's next to get married.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Yeah. But anyways, really quick. So back to the whole Floyd Mayweather deal here. A lot of people were definitely questioning this on Twitter. Like, well, first off, is this real? Second off, it's so random, I guess. But like, having top athletes own race teams it's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, Joe Gibbs, he was a head coach in the National Football League, won a ton of Super Bowls, and look where that team's at now. And then also in the past, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks have owned teams. Oh yeah, and Troy Aikman with Hall of Fame racing.
Roger Staubach. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of them.
Okay.
And here's the thing though, Floyd Mayweather. There we go. He's finally back. I'll just get this one comment before I ask you something else, Daylon. Floyd Mayweather. I know. I think a lot of people have memed him to hell and back before. Like I remember in like 2012, 2013, like 50 Cent was basically memeing him for not being able to read properly. I mean, which I can speak sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I have that problem as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, Floyd is a very smart businessman. He has, I'm assuming, billions of dollars. Let's just say he has a lot of money. So if he's going to put his time and effort into something, it is going to be worth his while, and he's definitely going to put his all into it. So when he announced this team, I was like, okay, so he's not just in this to make a quick buck. Like, he wants to really invest in his teams and see it grow. And then from what Daylon just told us, their ambition is to run in the top 25, top 25s, like out the gate. Like that's very ambitious there. Like I figured, hey, just like starting the race would be fine for them, but what it sounds like, no, they have a lot of ambitions.
Out the gate is, they want to bring in an experienced driver that's going to be able to give them feedback, an experienced crew chief that knows what's going on, has a notebook already established, that sort of thing. Because they do want to be relevant. They don't want to be irrelevant.
Absolutely.
Wonder who may be a Chevrolet driver that needs a ride for next year.
There's a lot of those. There's
So,
quite a few.
It's known in the Cup Series right now.
No. Oh, damn.
So I do gotta ask, because everyone's been like, I'll be honest, it sprung out of nowhere for a lot of us. Like, do you know, I guess, how long at least that you've been involved and like, or have heard about it, and like, how long has this been like building up for? Is it just the best kept secret that NASCAR managed to ever get?
It kind of got whispered, well, not whispered, but it kind of got thrown out there into the public there, this last weekend in Martinsville. I knew 3.5 weeks before that is when they first reached out to me to give them a quote.
Yeah, I think I had just randomly, I don't remember who it was. I think I randomly had heard about this as a rumor before it was announced, but when it was announced, I was like, oh wow, I'm actually surprised that wasn't just a.
Yeah, we were eating at Waffle House before that, and Danny just showed me this thing. I was like, hey, Floyd Mayweather's in, he's starting a race team on Facebook, and I was like, what? Like what?
Oh,
and then I saw that.
That's right.
So.
You were at his wedding, weren't you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Danny
Thanks,
B.
Daylon.
Yes, congratulations, Danny B.
And now I'm using my hands and pointing, but obviously I don't have a camera, so you can't see me. So I was pointing at you, Danny.
I'm just imagining a little stick figure, and that's you.
But yeah, so again, and I also like the number of choice too, 50, and then also in the paint scheme, it's clearly says 50 and 0, so I definitely like that.
Very creative. The guy who's doing the creative stuff, social media wise for him, he's really smart, really intelligent, knows what he's doing, has had a hand in a lot of racers over the past few years coming up through. So it's cool to be working with him.
You know that old saying, it's like you need to have a large fortune in racing to make a small fortune. My dad just sent me this. He's like my stat checker during the streams and stuff. His net worth is over 750 million. So it's like, but it's like I think I mean, it's insane like how much he has, and it's like, so I don't know how involved do you know he is, because a lot of people have been like, oh, maybe it's just the name is attached to it or what, but
I do know that he is involved, that he's the one cutting the checks, but it's his business manager there that's obviously overseeing everything. I don't know the extent as to which he will be involved, but he is the majority. From what it was explained to me, he is the majority owner.
Will he be at the Homestead race for the team's debut?
I do not know.
I hope he is.
I hope so.
We're all four of us are gonna be there, so
we're all gonna be there. So we're gonna
fingers crossed.
So yeah, hopefully he's there.
I know that if I have to shoot Cup on Championship Sunday, my girlfriend's gonna be pissed because I'm bringing her. She's like, "You're not working on Sunday, right?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." And then this thing is Well, I
It's
might
like,
have to
I
now.
gotta work. Hey, you gotta make that money. I have to get
Yeah,
this bread, baby. I gotta get this bread, baby. Sorry.
Well, I was originally not gonna, but then Floyd Mayweather called.
Yeah.
It's like,
When
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather calls you, you just kind of like do it.
It's kind of funny. Like this whole trip of us like going to Homestead originally started with only me was the only one going. I've been planning to go for like ever on my honeymoon and stuff. But then now all of a sudden like these guys just suddenly said, yeah, we're going and we're gonna try to see if we can get down to the garage for some reason and see what
Yeah.
we got a reason.
Yeah, we got a reason basically. So
Right.
That's gonna be fun.
So I guess, is there any like timetable moving forward on any announcements for it or anything like that, or is it just they're gonna just surprise us all at Homestead with it?
I was expecting a formal announcement today.
Oh.
Okay.
Honestly, that's
So-
why I said let me be on Wednesday, but it hasn't come out yet. I don't know when it will. It's soon. The guy is the person I've been in contact with is waiting for the wire transfer to go to make sure it's cleared before they put anything out. They're really taking baby steps with this. They're not like doing
Rushing into
Obica. Yeah, they're not doing an Obica where they
Yeah,
unveil
Obica.
at the Hall of Fame. We're going to Daytona, and then it's like, yeah, we're not
You're
showing
shutting
up.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Tanner Berryhill, man. Poor guy.
Really, for real, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Poor guy.
Obika, I'm just still mad about that whole like design to hood thing that never happened. Daylon knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. They have a YouTube channel, in case you don't know. They haven't posted since like 2015, 16, but they have a channel. I
So,
discovered this.
If this, if it's not tonight, then the formal announcement will probably be like really, really soon, and it's not going to be something like the Hall of Fame kind of deal. It'll be like an actual announcement.
From what I understand, it's just going to be a press release. They're not going to try to make this like over the top big deal. Like, whoa, look at us! We're going to win every damn race. And
No. They're going to be realistic about it.
I like hearing that.
I like that. I like that too.
Well, it seems like the more over the top they go with the announcements, the worse they do.
Worse, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, biker racing, for example. I'm building the
Uh-huh.
car at the Hall of Fame, and we don't even make it to Daytona. So,
Yeah.
Yikes. Hey,
It's
but watch it.
unfortunate.
But watch it be. Watch the announcement be Floyd Mayweather. He dominated in boxing, and he's gonna dominate on the circuit. He's gonna drive the 50.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll admit for my thumbnail this morning for Danny B Needs a Minute, I had to get like a little creative and clickbaity and put like Floyd Mayweather looks to knock out the NASCAR.
NASCAR or competition, basically.
I think that might actually be the headline of the press release.
That's perfect. That's perfect there. Nothing over the top. It's perfect.
You guys know how press releases are. They
Yeah.
try to hype things up more than they really are. It's like if you're going out and finishing 25th or 27th or something, and no offense to like front row or anything, but it's hard to make 27th place finish sound great or a 30th finish sound great.
Yeah, like you
So,
gotta hype it up for
when
those
you're announcing something to gain interest, like you kind of got to hype that up a little bit. You actually have a reason to, whereas like if it's a 30th place finish, you can't just be like in the press release, we worked hard, earned our 30th place finish through perseverance.
Right.
It's not. It's like, yeah, you just rode around for 500 laps.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not
blocked
gonna
traffic.
I'm not gonna get specific, but we were kind of having this conversation like when we were all together in person. There is one particular driver who I think their social media team will say, the driver did something finishing 26, and it's like, well, that's not really something to
Oh,
put out there that much.
I know what you're talking about.
We're leaving it at that. You two know.
I'm not
They
gonna say
finished the race.
it. They
Yay!
finished the race.
You
No.
better text this to me. I want to know this. I want to know who it is.
Okay,
Alright.
I have a shirt that
I'll
talks about this
take-
driver.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll text you right now.
No, but in all seriousness, if we're gonna go and take any sort of guess on who's gonna be the driver, I'd say a smart choice would be JJ Yaley. I mean, he's been in the Cup
Well-
Series for a long time, and I don't know, he's not really running for anyone else at the moment in the Cup Series. Doesn't really have any sort of commitments going on, so I mean, he has a ton of experience. It would make sense to bring him in.
So
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll-
I've
okay.
been told a few names, but I'm not gonna.
No, he can't
anything.
say. Can't say.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't say that. But
Wait until the check clears, and then maybe. But even then,
it
no,
would
probably
be it would be a Chevy driver or a former team Chevy driver.
not. Okay.
And it could be a driver that has won this year
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
outside of the Cup Series.
I'll take it that they have more of a long-term plan, I guess. I mean, I know you can't say what it is if you know, but just is there more like sort of talk around that with them, that it's not just talking just 2020, but there's at least a skeleton plan for later on?
It's probably going to be one of those things where they have to evaluate a little bit down the road. It's hard to say. It could be one of those things where they're so rare and ready to go. They come in, they run like 25th for the first 6 races, and they're like, okay, let's spend a little bit more money. They run 12th. Next thing you know, they're spending $50 million a year, and Floyd's like, nah, I don't want to spend that money anymore, and they're done in 2 years.
So basically, it pretty much depends on how much Floyd is willing to spend on this team,
and how much he is already spending on it. I don't know the figure. It's all about money, man.
I mean, he's got money to blow though, so I mean, he can own a team as long as he wants, basically. So
Hearing what you just said about who you think it could be there, the whole thing about winning and not necessarily in the Cup Series this year, my mind is only going to one person, and I don't want to say who it is. I don't want to be disappointed either. But if it is who I think it is, I wish they would have a number that's about 19 more.
Nice.
Well, I mean,
only because of the only person I'm thinking of. That's something that's so common in like their Twitter actions. But I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna say anything direct.
well, Greg was a Ford driver, not a Chevy driver. So.
Oh, there you go. See?
All right.
Yeah. So that's it. Darn. Damn it.
Which I'm not saying
on a
that.
Toyota though.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it couldn't be. I just know that they would prefer a Chevy driver, a veteran Chevy driver with experience, and the one at the top of the list.
Watch it be Mike Harmon. Please be Mike Harmon. Please, Lord. Please, God. Please make it happen. Make it happen, man. But yeah, so the money team is officially in racing. So we'll see how that goes.
Honestly, I would love to see Floyd try to drive it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too.
I'll just say this, I'd be scared out of my mind if I had to if Floyd Mayweather's driver was mad at me and wanted to start a fight. I'd be so scared, especially if he's at the track.
I'll go get my boss.
Yeah,
he walks over. He just walks over. I swear I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's like
I didn't do it.
I just want to see if you want to go fishing this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'd really need a boxing ring for Matt at the racetrack.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah, the money team officially in NASCAR. The exciting times in the sport heading into 2020, and also for Homestead too. We get to see this live in person, so that'd be awesome. Maybe like 20 or 30 years from now, we can tell our kids or grandkids, yeah, I saw the money team's first race, and then by that time they'll have 30 championships.
I need to try to get some pictures of this because I'll either be watching this team go on to succeed, or I'll be making a rise and fall video in a few years.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Let's just hope that the wire transfer clears before Homestead. So we'll have
he's
to work.
hoping. Yeah, he's hoping.
I want that money.
Yeah, he wants that money, bro. He's hoping. Well, I mean, Daylon, thanks for coming on, man, and giving us this insight. I don't know. I was gonna ask. Do you want to stay on the whole time, or the rest of the podcast, or?
I can stay and hang out for a little while if that's cool.
Yay! Yes, absolutely, man.
I've just been playing some Call of Duty.
Oh, dude, yes, that's my
new one.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. I just got a new setup here. I got triple monitors now, and got a new headset, so I've been gaming
gamer.
hard,
That's a pro gamer move right there, guys.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up. Oh, we got Roots in chat. Hey, Roots, your driver, Jimmy, he's getting demoted to the money team. Yeah, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I kid because I can.
Hey, he said he's won this year.
Yeah, he has. Oh, what? He won the Clash? What you mean?
That don't count. No
yeah, I know that don't count. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, moving on. Go ahead.
We got the lightning round coming up, and I gotta wish someone a happy birthday, so I'll do that after the lightning round. So lightning round, Darian, do your thing.
The lightning round presented by Jarrett. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right, so the Pocono doubleheader lengths were announced. Saturday will be 325 miles, and which I believe goes out to 130 laps. Sunday, 350 miles, which goes out to 140 laps. So that's an odd amount of distance for an odd weekend, I'll just say.
That's fine. Get both Pocono races done in one weekend. Fine. I don't care how long they are. Go ahead.
I don't want to hear people rip on Kyle Larson and say that Kyle Larson isn't a badass, because the dude's been racing with a fractured rib since Talladega.
Oh.
I give him a ton of credit. Roger Penske was recently awarded the Medal of Freedom, which I believe is the highest medal or an honor you can get as a citizen, and not just in any military, which is awesome. Something that isn't awesome, it seems like RaceFan84 took down his full race videos, so
No.
hopefully Joe Cocksucker didn't do anything on that one. Blink of an eye will be going to streaming services November 5th, aka next Tuesday. So
Nice.
Make sure that you keep your eyes out for that one. I don't know who's in here has seen it. I haven't been able to see it yet, unfortunately.
I've seen it. It's pretty good.
I haven't been
It's
able
pretty
to.
good. It's very good. I like it.
This was reported today, which I find so funny because pretty much everyone has heard it already. Honda showing interest in NASCAR, because we haven't heard that before.
What?
I will say that more articles being put about it at least makes it seem like it's more of a possibility. Also, everyone, happy Halloween. I'll just say that in advance now, because I don't want to forget. And then they announced today that Cassidy Pope, she is a country singer-songwriter. She's going to co-host the NASCAR Awards Banquet with Rutledge Wood. Also, she looks scarily scarily similar looking to Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
And then also, lightning round, we talked about a little bit, but Danny B got married.
He got married.
Congratulations.
Y'all. He got married, boy. Oh, that was such a good wedding. That was such a fun wedding to be a part of. And then Danny B dancing too on my Twitter too. That was fun.
Good weddings, good dancers, Danny B.
Yeah, me and Danny, we were getting low to the floor too during the yeah.
And then this is, I guess, well, that's the end of the lightning round, so I guess I can wish happy birthday to my cousin Sophie. She is turning 11
birthday.
today. Everyone in the chat, say happy birthday, and if you say something bad, I swear you'll be banned. You'll be, yeah. Happy birthday, Sophie. I hope that,
If you say something bad to Sophie, we will go and find Michael Marutz and let him unleash on you in his
Marutz?
power.
Everyone's saying his name wrong.
But yes, happy birthday,
On
Sophie.
purpose.
I can't wait to go to Jurassic World Live on my birthday with you.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun. And, man, it's just... I hope you're watching right now, because it'd be really weird if you weren't.
Yeah.
She's
Man.
subscribed to the channel and comments a lot on the polls and stuff, so she supports us a lot. So thank you so much. And
Thank you, Sophie.
happy birthday.
Happy 11th birthday. And that'll conclude the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Back to the show.
I guess we can go into one of the stories here. Dover is in the process of tearing out 29,000 seats. They're going from 83,000 to 54,000. These will be in 3 and 4, which are, by the way, the most prominent, it seems like, of the two sides of the track that show up on TV. So when you see empty seats, it's usually the 3 and 4 section, seeing how the front stretch is pretty well packed up. So I want to ask you guys, in no particular order, go ahead, but what do you guys think about this one? Because personally, I like this move. I think it'll look much more full on TV when they do this.
I like it too. I think taking away, no offense to those who might have liked those seats, taking away that as options will make it better to condense everybody into one particular area. Granted, I've never been to a race at Dover, so I can't tell you, how people like it at the track or anything like that. But it didn't look like it's bringing in the crowd that would support having 84,000 seat, capacity arena. So take out that as part of your assets, and it's also less maintenance cost for the facility by not having those there. And I think it's a good move.
Yeah, Las Vegas took out a ton of seats, and entering turn 1 and coming out of turn 4, they turned some of their stands into tables, basically. Going along with Kansas Motor Speedway's trend and also Kentucky Motor Speedway's trend of recently doing that in recent years. But yeah, like Danny just said, it does not look good on TV to have a ton of empty seats coming out of 3 and 4, where the camera picks that up too. I mean, even at Bristol, like you saw that when in the spring Bristol race when they basically bunched up everybody on the straightaways. I mean, it didn't look all that great to see those turn stands empty at that racetrack. So it'll be aesthetically like much more pleasing to see that on television. And also, I mean, even though there might be, some money lost in this, from taking out the grandstands and, also from, people just coming to the facility, the amount of people coming to the facility. Again, like you just pointed out, I didn't even think about this. Yeah, maintenance costs will go down a ton by taking out a ton of grandstands.
Yeah,
Wait,
I think it's a good move too. Um, by the numbers, I'm pretty sure. Have your dad check me stats wise here. Um, Dover was like the eighth or ninth uh, most capacity seating wise of tracks now, and they'll still be like 10th or 11th after this. So it's 54,000 seats is still a lot of seats. You know, uh, they're still like middle of the pack here. If you're gonna bring 50,000 people to a race, that's still a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like, the thing I saw, the outrage on Twitter that I saw was uh, people were upset that they were taking seats, but they're not buying seats anyway. It's still
Yeah,
50 some thousand people. That's about
that's a lot.
it's about an NFL game each weekend,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
unless you're the Bengals or Dolphins.
I mean, I like because I'm a big Vikings fan, and I look at when we watch those games, and the stands look amazing. There's so many people there, and it's about the same capacity that Dover is going to, maybe a little more, but it's like it's the look. That's what I've been saying. It's like you can make 50,000 people look like 200,000 people if you just have the right angles and the place is like sold out and packed. So like I think long term this is a great deal that they're doing here, and that if they have another big boom, then you have that demand there for and people have to jump on it. Whereas Dover before, I believe Dover got up to 133,000 seats at its peak, and it was like
Somewhere around there.
just I mean even at its peak, like it would sell out a few years, but most of them it was still a bunch of empty seats at different times. So they overbuilt. I think that this is a great correction, and I hope most of the tracks go this direction. Places like Texas, for instance, probably should invest in this a little more, as well as a few others. I don't know about other than that, but I mean, yeah, I like this move a lot personally. And then there's another thing I like in here really quick, unless anyone want to jump in.
Yeah,
One last
I'd like
thought.
to mention one more thing. I really wish that Dover would have done more of like an upgrade to the stands though, along with this, and done the drink holders and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That other tracks are moving towards, like Kansas did. I think Vegas did too.
Yes.
Where you can have room to put your bag down. You have a cup holder in front of you, that sort of thing. A little bit more width in the seats. They could have expanded it out sideways, instead of removing, like they're tearing down the seats. They could have expanded out to the sides a little bit, spread people out, so uh, fans were a little bit more comfortable, that sort of thing. But still, I mean, 29,000 seats, you can still take out a majority of those and still do the upgrades and have space.
And also, I'm still waiting for the day when one of these facilities makes it more, I guess, walk accessible. What I mean by that is, I mean, like, fans, like, they're not just sitting, just to watch a sporting event anymore. They like to move around. They like to go on their phones and stuff like that too. So I'm still waiting for the day where one of these tracks, like let's say Daytona or a Bristol, sort of make it where hey, you can also, you can sit and watch the race, but I mean also, hey, you can go, move around, like, go walk into this area and stuff like that. I mean, we've seen this happen in a ton of infields at these facilities too. LVMS has had the Neon Garage for years now. ISM has their new garage thing going on, and also Talladega and Richmond, and even the Roval too. Even Charlotte Motor Speedway have they're very have all these accessible areas. So hopefully we can have those one day in the grandstands.
I agree. Daytona is probably one of the best that I've been to, fan experience wise. They have the new injectors
Mm.
with escalators, elevators, all sorts of gift shops. They have air conditioned gift shops
Oh, so
through
good.
the concourse on multiple levels, like level one,
Wow.
two, three.
Wow.
It's honestly like walking into an NFL stadium. I don't know if any of you guys
I've
have been to.
Yep.
I've never been there.
Well, I went to the
It's-
Metrodome and it sucked, but that was old. The Metrodome was terrible.
But Daytona is extremely modern with that stuff. They're awesome with the fan experience. I think the best part is the escalators because getting up to the top is a lot. Walking up all those steps, but Dover, it's got to be near the top of the list for worst fan experiences because there's hardly anything in the concourse. The I remember going as a fan and the souvenir trailers, they were all spread out, very confusing, right next to campers and campgrounds, which was kind of like throwing me off with it. And the infield is just a gravel pit because they have the horse track. There's no fan experience, nothing in the infield whatsoever. So
Yeah, I noticed when I went to Kansas, it was super upgraded compared to, like, I know they did the upgrades recently to that track, and just infield outside of it, it was so much better than like Chicagoland even, because I've been going to Chicagoland. It didn't seem like they've done anything to that track in the last 20 years, but it's like then you look at it compared to Kansas, like, so yeah, I'm all for anything they do with that. So if they do an upgrade at some point, I'll make sure to go out there and check it out for sure.
All right.
So, okay, we got two more stories really quick, one good and one bad. I guess we can get, like, well, one not, it turned out not to be as bad as it could be. Matt Tifft missed the race this past weekend, and it was for a seizure. Now, for a lot of people who might not have been watching for a while, he recently, I believe in 2016, had a malignant brain tumor removed in that time. So that's one thing that was scary. There wasn't anything that showed up on the scans, thank God. But I mean, I was looking at some stuff, and again, this is Reddit talking, so it could be right, it could be wrong. But it sounds like that, like with seizures like this and the threat of it, that he may be asked to sit out for 6 months. Which, you know, if anyone's keeping track, the new season in 2020 comes in 4, so he wouldn't be able to drive at the start of the season. I guess you know, I can ask you guys personally. I think that he should play it safe on this one. You know, just he's, you know, relatively pretty young. He's got a lot going for him overall, and you know, doesn't need to be pushing it. But I guess, what are you guys' takes on what Tiff's future looks like right now? Because for me, I honestly don't think it's racing wise the brightest.
I think
Yeah,
I think it's a scary position to be in for him, but at the same time, this might be a good moment to try to reinvent himself in the NASCAR world. You know, he could, you know, look into going into more of a broadcasting role. He's still young, has a lot of life in him, you know, and it might just be, you know, it might just be the right time to think about other ways to stay in the sport.
And first off, I hope he gets better. Second off, shout out to John Hunter Nemechek for getting the opportunity to relieve for him for the final 3 races. So hopefully he basically shows out the best way he can in that 36 ride. And finally, to Matt Tiff's career, I mean, look, I know a lot of people have given him, like, they've basically, you know, given him crap for, you know, having money and, you know, for getting some of these top rides and, you know, Xfinity and stuff like that. Like, okay, I get that, but like, that's irrelevant at this point. And I saw some people just still talking about that and stuff. I'm like, look, like, guys, like, let's give it a break. I mean, like, this is a much serious issue, you know, on this front. I mean, as far as his racing career goes, I mean, I know everyone's telling him, you know, they're basically telling him to play it safe and all this stuff. But I mean, you know, the kid, he's still young. Like, he just fulfilled his dream to race in the Cup Series. I don't think he's gonna necessarily give up that easy. Yeah, I know. I don't think he is. You know, I think he's gonna. Well, yeah. I know. Nobody on here said that, but I've seen some people on Twitter say, yeah, he should probably just like pack it in and stuff. But like, nah. I think what the plan is here is maybe front row will they'll probably work with him perhaps, and maybe to see you know about the whole timetable. Maybe they might get, you know, a fill-in driver to fill in for a a couple months and stuff, because it's not like that team is gonna be a chase contender with or without him anyways and stuff. So it's like what's the big deal in putting somebody else in the car for a few races and then giving Tifft the ride back, later on in 2020. I mean, it's not really a big issue. So I don't know. On that front, I'd say he'll eventually get back in the car, and hopefully he'll keep grinding in 2020. Get well though.
What do you think, Daylon?
Well, seizures are scary. I'm glad that nothing has been worse than the seizure throughout Matt's recovery since his surgery. It was certainly scary to hear the first year that he had a seizure at Martinsville this last weekend. Now, states will basically give driver's licenses to anyone, but when you are prone to seizures, they will revoke your driver's license. And if it's not okay to drive normal passenger cars after suffering seizures, I think it'd be a smart idea for Matt to really hang it up, because there's nothing more valuable than life, and God forbid that seizure would have happened going down the backstretch and he goes head on into the turn 3 wall with his foot flat in the floor. That's not something you want to see. I hope he takes it slow, takes it easy, really listens to his body. I know seizures aren't something you can really predict, and they're awful things. I hope he works with his doctors closely, and if he gets medically cleared, if they think he can get back into a car, I say go for it. But I would lean towards the conservative side and probably say, hey, I ran the Daytona 500 this year. I ran a Southern 500. I ran a Brickyard 400. I ran a Coca-Cola 600. I raced on the Roval. Like, man, that's awesome. I never got to really win a race, but I still got to do a lot of things that other people wouldn't do, and that's that.
He got to run for a lot of great things. He ran for Joe Gibbs in the Xfinity Series. I mean,
Almost won.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say he's had a bad career. I'm just, it's unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, he's got to run for a lot of great teams if he decides to hang it up. But
and a lot of people may, question why did he go from such a good promising Xfinity ride to maybe something that would be considered a downgrade in the Cup Series. Well, I see it as maybe
he's in Cup.
He's in Cup, and he knows of all the adversity he's had to overcome. That might have been his only chance to say he ran in the Cup Series.
He knew that his time was limited and wanted to do it and be able to do it and have a good run at it while he was healthy.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, and there's plenty of opportunities, I think, throughout the sport that he can probably fit into. I mean, if depending on how he is in front of a camera, even if he can't do driving anymore, it'd be awesome to see him on weekly shows or broadcasts and stuff. Like I don't think even if this is the last we've seen of him driving, I don't think the last we've seen of him in the sport. I think that so I guess to close it out, unless anyone else has anything to say, I'd say that I wish the best of luck to him and his family and everyone involved right now. And the racing world that from what I've seen is pretty tight knit. So I believe he has got a lot of people in his support system. A lot of people have his back, and hopefully, in whatever form it may be, I hope to see him back at the track pretty soon. So
get well, man.
Yeah, if he ever sees us, get well, man. On a little more positive news in the NASCAR world, this will be the last story we got before picks. Oscar Mayer has renewed with Roush Fenway Racing for 2020. The Wiener car returns.
Yes.
And added on to that, you can help design the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the big boy Ryan Newman gets, the Thick Dog sponsorship for 2 more seasons, and you get to design the Thick number 6 car. I mean, Roush Racing's back here, man. Roush Racing's back, man. I mean,
hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got a Wiener car for another year. That's a blessing in and of itself.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like that could go terribly, terribly wrong if it's a design a car contest?
They'll vet some of the pace schemes.
Of course they will.
It can be, but I think I'm going to enter this one, and I think I'll have a special design already in mind, and I'm not gonna say what it is because we have a large audience here. I don't want to give it away, but I'm gonna probably do something for this one.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, put in that work. See what happens, man. Yeah, Danny B designs the wiener car. That is great. I can see the memes already for that. But yeah, I mean, Entourage Racing as a whole, though, I mean, it's good to have, secured sponsorship for, the next couple of years. Also get to keep Newman inside the car. Well, Newman might not necessarily be in that car for, that whole time. Next year, after 2020, they might look into some other prospects to drive that number 6 wiener car. And then, on top of that, the number 17, you have Chris Buescher coming over. So exciting times are happening over at Rouse Racing.
Make the 6 on the side out of a giant Oscar Mayer wiener.
There you go.
We go.
There you go. Do that.
That's thinking outside the hot dog bun.
Yeah, it's thinking outside the bun.
I want to see the ones that they say that they have to say no to because my dark sense of humor would go so wild with this one.
God.
Oh, I know. It'd be great. The memes would be great. Then imagine if he starts winning in that car too. He's already running well. If he starts winning in that car, totally.
I mean, he made the playoffs this year, so
yeah.
If he wins a race, they need to in the wiener car. They need to get a confetti cannon, but just launch hot dogs into the air.
Launch hot dogs in the grandstands. There you go. Lots of wieners in the grandstands.
Just friggin' hot dogs and bologna flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love it.
We would love it.
Hold on, I guess I got something sent. I can't show that one. I was thinking, I got something sent to me, but it's a Motley Crue picture.
Oh,
so,
no. Say no more.
I'll show it to you after the stream.
Yeah.
We got one segment left, y'all. We got picks.
But it's Texas, though.
It's Texas.
It's Texas. Damn it.
Everything is bigger in Texas. Even the boredom of the track has gotten bigger.
Yeah, it's gotten bigger each year.
But let's get into this thing here. Daylon, let's start with you, man. Who's gonna suck this weekend?
I don't know. Can I say that?
I'll write that down. I don't know, I guess.
John Hunter Nemechek.
Oh, no, okay.
Way to play it safe.
Right, play it safe there.
I don't know. Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, okay.
Even though I love Parker. Shout out Parker. Wait for them. I know that he wants to win, but
I'm going to say the 9 of Chase Elliott sucked last week. And he's not going to be completely out of it, but he's going to need a win. So anything less than that, like I'd say maybe a top 10 run is basically going to suck for him as far as, the playoffs is concerned. So Chase Elliott is going to suck this weekend.
This is a tough one for me, but I'm probably also going to agree with Darian. This can be a hit or miss track for Chase, but he's going to be my suck pick for this one. It's just, with NASCAR, it's all about momentum. When you have some good momentum, it's great. When you have some bad momentum, it can't be good. But I'd love for him to prove me wrong.
So, who's going to be the dark... Oh, wait, that's right. I got to pick. I almost forgot myself. I'm getting ahead of myself here, man. I'm trying to read the chat, read this, read that. Okay. Personally, I pick this dude a lot. I rag on this guy a lot. But his stats aren't good here, so I think that he'll back those up. I think that Clint Boyer is going to suck this weekend at Texas, unfortunately. Hopefully he gives a good soundbite at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like the last Texas race. Yeah, he was like, the qualifying soundbite. Legendary soundbite.
So now we can go to dark horses. Daylon, who is your dark horse pick, man?
Man, you guys have so long to prepare for this, and you put me on the hot spot. Can I go? Can I go last?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Trust me, Daylon. You would think we have all day to prepare for this, but I'm thinking about this like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, no, we just do it on the whim too.
I don't even know who half the cars in the Cup Series are, man. I'm a Truck Series dude.
I'm the only one prepared, apparently, because apparently my two co-hosts here aren't.
Dark horse pick, Ryan Newman. With the whole wiener deal going on now. It's got a lot of momentum from that. he ran decent at Martinsville, I think. So I mean, I saw his car getting. I mean, I think he was getting lapped, but hey, he was still running decent. He was still running at least, right? So I'd say maybe a top 10, top 15 finish is in the works for Ryan Newman this weekend.
Okay. For my underdog, I'm going to be saying, because he really needs a good run here, and he was running really good here last year. Unfortunately, had some issues. But I'm going to say Ryan Blaney's going to be my underdog for this one. Would like to see him come out with a good finish in this one. And yeah, Ryan Blaney, my underdog.
Well, I'm going to break the trend of Ryan's. So, it won't be them that I'm picking. I'm going to pick a guy that I think is going to be awesome next year. I think this dude's going to be a top 10, top 8 kind of driver. A dark horse probably for the Final Four next year. I think he's really starting to heat up at the right time. I picked him as my dark horse pick last week. William Byron, I think, is going to be my dark horse this week. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him up in the top 5.
Yeah, been on a roll.
He could taste victory last week. He knows what it looks like.
That's who I was going to go with, too.
Great minds think
William
alike.
Byron.
Great
Yeah.
minds thinking alike.
I pulled up Racing Reference because I remembered him qualifying well, but he qualified second back in the spring. And he finished 6th, led 15 laps. So, yeah, William Byron.
So, now who is going to win this race
Who's gonna
this
win?
weekend? Who's going to win?
All right. Well, Denny Hamlin's going to lock his spot into the Final Four. He's going to sweep both Texas races in 2019, and this will launch him on a springboard to his first ever Cup Series championship. Denny Hamlin's going to win, y'all.
Danny B gone missing.
He has gone missing. Yeah.
I'll go next then. This guy, he had a freakishly fast car at Kansas, in my opinion. I got to sit by his crew. He has been peaking at the right time. Got that win at Talladega. I think he's going to get a win here at Texas. Ryan Blaney, I think, is going to make his first appearance in the Final Four. And depending on how it all goes, maybe he might be the lone Penske guy at the Final Four. Who knows, man? A lot weirder stuff has happened to Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano at Texas before. But I think Blaney, he has been showing a lot of speed the last couple races here. He had the fastest legal car last year at this race.
That's right.
So I think he'll do the same thing this week, except he'll finally get that win he deserves. Blaney is my pick to win, and my brother rejoices.
Guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. That team just found a sweet spot last week, and I think they can really carry over that momentum. I know it's a completely different track. They sucked in the spring, but I think it could turn around for them, and they could win here and win another championship.
Right on, man. And Danny, he's dead. He's dead.
We'll just assume Alex Bowman.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think I Danny, you're smarter than that. Come on.
Oh, Danny, where art thou?
Yeah, where are you, bro? The wife called him. In early. She's already calling the shots already, early on. Yeah, married.
I guess really quick we can talk about the next couple weeks. Darian, did you get are we good to go with that announcement or no?
I didn't get anything yet officially.
Okay.
Dang,
okay, then we'll wait till next week for that part. But next week, we gotta check. Maybe we can be on Eric's channel. Who knows? He's MIA right now. Somebody who we know for sure is going to be on next week, though. He's been in the chat. I'm glad that I remembered to look this before the show who it is. But Michael Marutz, which I just said it right? Michael Marutz?
Roots. It's so hard to say. Yeah,
Roots.
Yeah, Roots. Yeah, you said it right.
He'll be on the show next week, so be sure to watch that, whether it's either on Eric's channel or on Darian's.
Let's say my
TBA.
channel. We'll say my
TBA.
channel.
For sure on Darian's in 2 weeks, the 13th. For sure. We can't announce one just yet.
We can't. I want to so bad.
I want to so bad as well. But Real Radman will be on as well. So that one should be really fun.
Yeah.
Radman knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, the other guest, TBA.
But be sure to watch next week because for sure we'll get the go-ahead by then to talk about that one. So, big announcement. Be sure to watch. That's all I can say, really.
That's all we can say right now.
Assume it's on. Oh, and then thank you, Corvette Racing, 48 for the $2.99 super chat. Michael Ma Roots is on next week.
Yeah. I get to roast him about Jimmy Johnson again. I keep getting to roast him
I hope
about
Jimmy
that.
Johnson
He's
wins
gonna
this
be
weekend.
he's gonna be on the Bad Seasons video too. Actually, Michael is. He's gonna collab with me on that. He's basically just gonna be pissed the whole time.
Oh, I hope that I hope that Jimmy Johnson wins this week.
Yeah,
simply because.
Just simply because he can come on the show and just run his mouth the whole time.
I'd say executive decision here. Jimmy Johnson wins this week. Michael gets to open up the show however he wants.
Oh God, and on my channel too. Okay, fine. Yeah, why not? Why not?
And thank you, Blue Jimmy 48 fan, for the $5 super chat. Awesome podcast. Happy Halloween, everyone. Too bad it's gonna suck for me since it'll be pouring rain. Also, we about to go 1 for 81 on the year. I'm sorry.
81 on the year.
I don't know, but I'd rather it be raining than what it's gonna be doing here because it's gonna be friggin' snowing.
Yeah. And it's cold in Vegas too.
I'll be on an airplane, so.
Oh, you lucky son of a gun!
What?
Hey,
No.
no, it's cold on the airplane. What do you mean?
It's
Yo,
not
Jared
snowing on
doesn't
the
fly.
airplane.
No, Jared.
Is it snowing on the airplane? Because if not,
Daylon, Jared doesn't fly much. Trust me. He doesn't know.
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna have
hold
to
on,
drive
let
through
me-
snow at night.
let
Dude.
me pull this up.
It is super cold on that airplane, bro.
I'm gonna get 3 to 5 inches of snow while driving tonight through the kick-back roads of
another
manure-filled Illinois.
It's another level.
I hate Illinois.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow will be my 92nd and 93rd flight of the year.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn. You
Yep.
pay for all those?
I pay for all of them.
Holy crap. Damn.
Yep. Without taxes, it's $9,344.
Oh, damn, man.
Dang.
And
Yeah.
me and Jared, we just got our flights paid for. We'll talk about that more after the podcast, though. But we
Hey,
got that.
Danny,
Oh, he's not dead. He's not dead.
Yeah, no, sorry. If you when you're a married man, wife says come do
Ah,
something, you
I
gotta do
know it. I know it. Already controlling you right there.
She just made it help.
So we didn't get your win pick. I assumed
Halloween.
Alex Bowman because you
But
haven't
I
said his
said no.
name yet.
But I said no.
No, it's
Okay.
Kevin Harvick.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And a legal card this time.
Yes.
All right, there we go.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah. it was-
All this
Wait a minute.
It's Kevin Harvick.
Hold
He's
on a
going-
minute.
he's going
Hold
to
on a
Miami.
minute. This is
Danny B,
this,
what are you doing for Halloween tomorrow?
I'm working.
This has to be the first time in so long we haven't had Alex Bowman picked by anyone at any point.
That's the first time since like the beginning of the year, right?
I don't know. We got.
He's let me down so much I can't even say he's gonna suck.
It's been.
He's just gonna be mediocre. All right, man. Well, unless we get a last minute go ahead, I'd say that wraps her up.
That's a wrap. That's a
Daylon,
wrap.
where we already know, but where can they find you on social media, man?
You can find me at Barr Visuals.
Mm-hmm.
That's BARR Visuals, all one word, on Twitter and Instagram. And then feel free to add me on Facebook too, Daylon Barr. I don't really care who's friends with me, but I share a whole lot of dank memes. So
Love the memes over there.
And also,
right.
I just got to say this before we head off. By 2030, the NASCAR Hall of Fame will have 5 photographers, including Daylon.
oh man, I hope I'm never in the Hall of Fame. I couldn't go through an induction ceremony. I get too
you
nervous.
get a ring. You get a ring though.
I got a ring from the 16 truck last year.
I already got
Hey,
one. That's
there you go.
enough.
Yeah. Hey.
There you go.
I don't know what to do with my
I don't know what
hands.
to do with my hands either.
Oh man.
Can I tell a
I
quick
gotta-
story real quick?
I gotta- Oh,
yeah, go
real
ahead.
quick.
Go ahead.
Go
So
ahead.
the whole I don't know what to do with my hands thing, and you guys can fact check this if you pull it up on YouTube. 2017 Talladega truck race. I made a bet with Myatt Snyder that if he got interviewed, he wouldn't do the I don't know what to do with my hands thing in the middle of his interview. And he made good on the bet. And during his interview, he raised his hands up and said, "I don't know what to do with my hands," and I gave him $100.
I don't
No.
I don't remember this.
I think it was during qualifying.
Oh, okay. I gotta.
I really
I gotta look this
okay.
up.
Someone tweet that to us on Twitter. I gotta see this. If you
Yeah.
can find it,
Yeah,
please tweet it. to
it
us.
happened.
I want to see this. I'm looking this up as soon as we get off.
Yeah, as soon as we get off.
All right. Well, everybody, unfortunately, the rest of you, I would be muting. So you can say whatever you want while I give this off. But make this as difficult as possible for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been one hell of a show. I am going deaf right now. And okay, Daylon, that's amazing. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. We'll see you next week.